Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Big Four podcast. My name is Luke, spraying out with the usual Brian, Nick, and Andrew. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm good, Luke.
I'm
How are you?
terrific. Yo soy terrífico.
I'm great. Brian, how are you?
I'm great, dude.
I don't know
Actually,
what that
I'm
is.
okay. I'm
This
fine.
the
I'm learning to cope with the loss of fan favorites. It's been a common theme in Boston in the last year.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about you being stuck in your room for 24 hours a day and not having anything to do.
That too.
I'm doing fine. I'm doing actually
Okay.
well.
Well,
That's
we are
what
your
they
number
all
one
say.
source. We are your number two source for all things sports. If you know, you know. Go follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Big Four _ podcast. This is our first episode without any football, so we have. I mean, it's not really anything to cry about, Andrew. It's okay. We talk about other sports
I
too,
miss
other than
football already. It's
I
sad.
don't really care. I'm fine with it moving on because there are a lot of things to look forward to.
Like Bill
the-
Belichick effing up the draft and free agency.
Yeah.
that's something to look forward to as well. I wasn't gonna be directed at football, but we have the conference championships for college basketball starting in a month. The NBA is almost at the All-Star break. Same with the NHL. So life's looking good for the other sports. But we'll start with baseball. And I don't know if we want to start because we really haven't talked about the Trevor Bauer trade at all. And he kind of went to the Dodgers. That was kind of huge last week. That's what she said, no
Huge.
pun intended.
You say trade?
Yeah, well,
No.
he went in free. You said trade, but he went in free
I did say
agency.
trade. Oh, my
You
bad.
did say trade.
I just want to say I meant he signed in free agency. Huge.
Shame on you.
Was it the biggest pitcher deal of all time? Like
Kind of large.
getting the most money per year
He's making more per year than 3 teams in the league.
than 3 teams' entire payroll.
Indians,
Yeah, I knew that.
Pirates, Rays, I believe.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I just want to say, first off, he is a good pitcher. He won the Cy Young, but he was hyping it up like it was Michael Jordan going into free agency after winning like 3 straight MVPs. That's what he was. That's basically what it felt like because he was
Yes.
doing all this stuff, hyping himself up for everything, and like doing all these like before the day before he was selling on his website signed Dodgers and Mets hats signed by him. Now, if you buy a Mets hat, why the heck would you want that? You look like a freaking fool. So
Exactly.
he was hyping it up way too much. He is a good pitcher, but he ain't Michael Jordan or Tom Brady or Babe Ruth or anything. He's Trevor Bauer. So that's just what I want to say. But
Not
now
even
the
the best
Dodgers
pitcher
need
in the
more
league.
hats.
Trevor Bauer. Whenever I hear the name Trevor Bauer, the first thing I think of is him scaring the heebie-jeebies of Oscar Mercado and firing a ball over center field wall in Kansas City.
That was the best.
That's one of them. And the other thing I think about is him in the playoffs and his finger couldn't stop bleeding because he cut it with his drone before the game.
I also
yeah.
like the Conor McGregor walk after he got a 1-2-3 inning or something. He did
Well,
the Conor
he's just
McGregor
so
walk off
funny.
the-
He's awesome. I love him.
Yeah, he is. But now the
It's a class
Dodgers,
act.
if you thought they were insane before, they're even more insane. Their pitching rotation, the first 3 with
They also have Kelly and Bauer, the 2 goats of the MLB, on their team.
Kelly
Facts.
and Bauer. Oh yeah. Well, no, yeah, but the front end of that rotation with Bauer, Kershaw, and Walker Buehler, that's
Don't
insane.
forget about good old
That's not bad.
uncomfortably numb David Price.
Price,
Okay.
Arias, Dustin May. That man. in the
Arias
bullpen.
doesn't really. Arias is like a
He'll be a
Four
reliever,
inning
but
starter.
their
Well, it's either
rotation's
him
gonna
or
be,
it's either him or May that is gonna be the 5th starter,
Or
which is still
Gonsolin.
good.
it'll be
Or
May.
Gonsolin, which is still good between the three of them, that's
Gonsolin's
still
it'll
good.
be May. It'll be Bauer, Kershaw, Bueller, Price, May. Oh God.
And then the
That's
bullpen's
crazy.
The bullpen will be fine too.
Wait, so what's better? What's better? Dodgers healthy rotation or the Padres healthy rotation with
Probably the
Clevenger.
Dodgers.
Snell, Paddock,
Clevenger.
Clevenger. Who else is
Lamet.
on there? Who?
Lamette.
Lamette. Yeah, I would probably say Dodgers.
I'm still
honestly,
taking the
now.
Dodgers.
I would go
yeah.
Bauer over Clevenger. I would go
Name a 5th
Kerr.
starter in San Diego just now. You only named 4, so I'd probably take the Dodgers.
No, there was one more. I feel like there.
No, there was.
I'm trying. They have so many pitchers now, but I would probably take the Dodgers too. But in terms of depth in the field, I don't know. I think it's even. To be honest, I think that's even because both teams have like they're 1 through 6 or even 1 through 7. Oh, Darvish, that's the other one. Darvish, they have Darvish.
Oh yeah, I
too.
forgot about Darvish.
Forgot about him. He's really good. He's really good. So those are the teams to beat. I mean, obviously they're not going to have Clevenger because of Tommy John. So we'll have to see next year. I still think that the Padres can make the NLCS this year without him, but the real test is going to be the year after when Clevenger's healthy and they have everyone. So hopefully no one on the Padres gets injured this upcoming year to ruin that.
Well, the Mets are kind of putting in a little bit of,
They need to get Chris Bryant. I don't know what's taking so long, but
they have the trade for him, right?
They're really the only ones interested. I haven't really heard anything else from any other team.
I heard they're
interested.
They're in on Chris Bryant or Matt Chapman.
Matt Chapman.
My goodness.
Jesus.
That would be
I don't
nuts.
know who I want more. Probably Chapman.
When's the last time we've seen an offseason in the MLB like this? When's the last time we've seen something like this?
Sports are just all turning into like the NBA.
Well, it's just
around.
Honestly, they kind of have to because of the Dodgers now. Like it really, I'm gonna say, I think the Mookie trade effed everything up because now teams have to catch up and make sure they have a absolutely loaded team, so they have to go after these guys. I mean, obviously,
the standard is now the Dodgers. That's the standard. And teams say if you want to win, you have to follow that.
All homegrown too. That's a crazy part.
And they still have a top 10 prospect in their farm system. I forget what his name is.
Gavin Lux.
Yeah, I thought they had someone else. Doesn't matter. They have a good. I thought they have a good. I thought the Dodgers also had a pretty good farm system too. But like that, they're setting the standard, and there's only so many teams in the MLB. The Mets are probably closest. The Mets, maybe the Yankees, the Blue Jays are trying, but the AL teams don't really matter as much. In the NL, you're probably looking at the Mets are probably the closest to. Mets and the Padres are the two closest teams to get into that standard. That's very high standard to reach. Very high standard.
I'm still so confused as to why the Cardinals traded for Arenado. I mean, and
then they re-signed, the Braves. The Braves are there too.
Yeah,
the Braves too. Yes,
there are good teams in the NL, but the Braves are gonna need another starter. And the Mets obviously third. They need to get that third base position locked down. Padres have one of their best pitchers getting TJ. So, I mean, it's crazy to say that this end up being a washed year for the Padres. Kind of wait till next year with all the talent they have.
I still think they're an NLCS team. I don't think they'll beat the Dodgers in the NLCS, but they're definitely an NLCS team. They just have their rotation. Really, they really have 4 quality starters. They can just fill that 5th spot with really anyone. I mean, anyone who's decent.
Well, they're going to end up playing the Dodgers in the NLDS.
They'll end up having to play the
Dodgers.
Because
they're going to be a wild card team.
They're going to have to be a wild card team.
And they got to play
the wild card matchup in the NL is going to be most likely. It's going to be most likely Padres Braves or Padres Mets.
Yeah, it's going to be.
That's crazy.
I still don't know.
And then you're going to have like the Cardinals or somebody sneak in because they won the division.
Cardinals, Mets, or Cardinals, Braves, most likely in the LDS.
Yeah. I don't see anybody other than the Cardinals winning that division. That division is trash.
But that's the standard the Dodgers set, which is insane because it's crazy to believe how stacked a team could be. And I mean, I never thought you'd get that what the Dodgers have, where they're completely just full all the way, farm system, rotation, hitting, field. I mean, they're perfect everywhere, and it's gonna be very tough to compete with that. Very tough, and I guess it's crazy to think that the Padres probably it's gonna be tough for the Padres to compete, and they got to play the Dodgers the most out of all the teams that have a chance. They have to play the Dodgers the most, which is gonna be very difficult for them. So you're kind of banking on maybe the Dodgers just don't get it going off the bats early, or maybe the pitching gets a slow start, or someone gets hurt. Like that's the only way one of these teams are going to creep in is if the Dodgers, falter at some point during the year.
Mm-hmm. And we can now also move on to one team that we know probably isn't going to compete this year, and that's the Red Sox because they just traded Andrew Benintendi for Frangie Cordero.
What about Josh Wishnowskalopoulos? And 3 PTBNLs.
Who?
You're disrespecting 3 PTBNLs. Come on, that's disrespectful.
Sorry, but
facts.
Frangie
Cordero
Cordero
to be
was
named layers is just Whit Merrifield.
3 of them.
Just send that.
Come on. And Josh Wishnowski or whatever is the.
Well, yeah, Frangie Cordero. He's been in the league since 2017.
Same age as Benny.
He's played less than 100 games total in those 4 seasons. So
he has a 490-foot home run to his career. That's
wow.
good.
So we get
Does he have
a
a ring?
less. So we have a less
a ring.
glorified. So the Sox just got a less glorified Joey Gallo is what
Yep,
we're saying.
they did get
Yeah.
Joey
Okay.
Gallo.
Awesome. Joey Gallo.
He has braces.
Maybe Frangie Cordero just ends up being an absolute unit this year.
Hey, who knows?
We all love him. You know what? I was sitting in when we traded Mookie for Verdugo and others. I was thinking like, we got Alex Verdugo, and then he started playing well. I was like,
that's
I like
different.
This guy.
Because I knew
I know.
who
I'm just
Alex
saying,
Verdugo
maybe
was. Frangie
No.
Cordero.
I'm just saying maybe Frangie Cordero ends up having a good year. I mean, who knows?
At least we traded Mookie, who obviously sucked, but we knew we had to do it.
I keep calling him Chime.
And we traded it.
Power.
And we traded it for a young guy who actually is promise. We traded Benny for a guy who's the same age who doesn't play the freaking game because he's never on the freaking field.
Yeah.
What the poop?
Wait, is it because he's bad or injuries or both?
Apparently he gets hurt like twice a week.
Gotcha.
Wouldn't surprise me if the Red Sox had a back-to-back home run streak in the season at one point. That'd just be funny.
Lineup, their top five
straight solo home runs.
The top five of the lineup is all insane power hitters, but they're also guys who all hit like 300, and then the bottom four are all guys who are going up there.
I'd take 5 power hitters that can hit 300.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah, like Dahlbeck. Dahlbeck's home run or bust.
Like Dahlbeck, Renfroe, Cordero if he plays, and Chavis.
That's pretty much it. Oh well, Chavis. No, Chavis.
Big Mike won't play.
No, I don't know where he's gonna play, especially with Kike now.
Vasquez holds the bottom of the order. I mean, Vasquez has 490 home run like or a bloop single.
I think Vasquez would hit fifth. So my lineup right now, if we're gonna do this, Verdugo.
Which no one asked you to.
And wait,
I'm just gonna do
right.
No,
Verdugo in right.
So bright.
Verdugo in right. And Verdugo in center. Okay. Bogarts, Devers, JD, Vasquez, and then I'm gonna go Kike. I'm gonna go Dahlbeck, then Kike, just to kind of spread out a little.
Kike at second though, right?
Kike at second. Kike at second, and then I'm gonna go with Marwin. I guess he'll be our left fielder, and then did I say Renfroe? Did I say Renfroe?
Not yet.
No.
Oh crap! Our lineup is a lot of power hitters.
You probably had. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if
Vasquez would actually drop. Actually,
we have no. I liked the 2018 Red Sox because they had.
Well, yeah, they won the freaking World Series, guy.
I mean, everybody
games.
As a Red Sox fan, I kind of enjoyed that team as
they
well.
They won every freaking night.
So
actually, I gotta write this down. Their team is like oddly.
Go ahead, Nick.
I really like the 2013.
I liked the small ball aspect to their lineup. I like the small ball when they can get on base and steal and score runs.
Small ball anymore.
No, I know. I'm saying that's what I really liked. That's what I really liked about that 18 team. Yeah, they won the freaking World Series and won 108 games. Yeah,
I feel like 2013 was more of a small ball team than 2018. Yeah. 2013 was just a bunch of like.
Okay, well, I like small ball. I like it when they play small ball. I like when they have guys that can steal bases. I like it when 5, 6 guys in that lineup is a threat to steal second if they get on first, and probably a guy that can take home on a single from second base instead of having to stop at third. Like those are the type of guys that I like in the lineup.
You've mentioned this before, and
yes, I have. I don't.
Unfortunately, no one steals anymore.
Yeah, they were always on second because the Red Sox were insane at hitting doubles.
I think the main part about that was the guys that can score from second on a single. Those are the guys that I like on the line. If on the base paths, if JD Martinez is on second base and let's say Verdugo hits a base hit to right field, Martinez probably isn't going to score. He's probably just not going to score. He's not that fast. It's JD Martinez. But I guess now you're replacing a guy like JBJ or Benintendi with a guy like Frangie Cordero. I don't even know if he can run at all. It seems like he can't. He hits 490-foot home runs. And then you're replacing that with Renfroe. And I know Renfroe isn't a great threat on the base. I like the run scoring aspect where they can score kind of from.
So you really want to say
get the extra base.
You really want to say just the ability to go from second to home because stealing isn't a thing anymore. 2019, because 2020 was only 60 games. 2019, the Rangers led the MLB in steals per game, and they averaged 0.8. So they didn't even average a steal
No,
per
no, no.
game.
I know the steals, I guess, are beside the fact, but a guy that can score from second to home on a base, and
No, I know, that's what I just said.
is a guy that has above average decent speed, is a guy that can every now and then beat out an infield single, a guy that can occasionally steal a base, a guy that can 75% of the time get to home plate from first on a double. Like that's that kind of guy, the guy that always gets you the extra base when you need him to. It's just, Mookie Betts, Benintendi, JBJ, all three of those guys are gone, but all three of those guys did that. And that's what I really liked about that. But they could, now it's Verdugo. I don't know how fast Kike is, but probably Hernandez. And that's Bogarts. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's
so
three guys.
I redrafted this. I'll do quickly, just because I wrote everything down. Verdugo in center, Bogarts at short, Devers at third, JD at DH, Vasquez catching, Marwin in left, Kike at second, Renfroe in right, and Dahlbeck at first, with your bench of Chavis, Cordero, Plawecki, and Christian Arroyo.
Oh, the Weck dog. I forgot about the Weck dog.
I think that's pretty much what it is right there.
Cool. Yeah. Wild card team at best right there, but I don't know even if they'll make the wild card, to be honest, but we can hope.
It's probably them versus the A's lost a lot, so the A's might not be there like they were last year.
Angels,
so it's probably.
I feel like I was just gonna say I feel like it's the Angels' year for something. They have
them versus the Angels, or them. See, part of the White Sox win the division.
Well, the Blue
Twins
Jays.
are good.
I feel like
in my opinion, I think the Blue Jays. How many wild cards are they doing? 3 wild card teams again?
No, 2, right?
2. So
it's going to be tough because you have
it's
probably the White Sox.
It's Red Sox versus the Blue Jays, probably the White Sox or the Twins, whichever one.
So no, I think the White Sox are going to win the AL
Central. It's the Red Sox, Blue Jays, Twins, White Sox. We can debate about that, whatever, and then the Angels. So that's 4 teams right there competing for 2 wild card spots.
I also think the Blue Jays are going to win the AL East,
and I think Yankees, whatever. The Red Sox it's the Red Sox and 3 other teams, and regardless if you switch out the Blue Jays with the Yankees, or you switch out the Twins with the White Sox, or whatever, the Red Sox are probably the least equipped of those 4 teams to make a playoff.
Yeah, agree.
So
they're in a tough spot.
They kind of got to pull something out of the hat this year.
Yeah,
like 2013.
They're gonna be looking.
Yeah,
they're gonna be on the outside looking in.
Yeah,
or if they can go and somehow, some way, shock the world and Bloom makes some kind of huge signing or a big trade, or there's
really no one out there for you.
Pull the Uno reverse card on Mookie Betts.
You can't forecast that. You have no idea if it's coming. It probably isn't. We know this guy well enough now to make a educated decision that he's probably not going to do anything after this. So if not sign maybe a bottom tier reliever or some starter, I don't know. But so that's the only way to make the Red Sox a contender is if Bloom somehow reaches into the magic hat and pulls out Matt Chapman. Like that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't need. I understand what you're saying.
Know.
They wouldn't need Matt Chapman, but I understand what you're saying.
Someone in Nashville, I guess.
Yeah, that's it for the Red Sox. They could be a wild card team. We don't see them winning the AL East at all. I really don't think battle. I really don't think they have a shot. So we can move on to the NBA. And to be honest, I mean, sure, I pay attention to the Western Conference a lot, but the Eastern Conference is probably the worst I've ever seen it in my entire life. The Raptors right now are 12-13, and they're a 5 seed. What sense does that make? That's awful. That's really, really bad. I don't know what is happening. I mean, the Heat sucks, so that kind of messes everything up. So that puts the Hornets and the Hawks in playoff spots that they shouldn't.
What other playoff teams last year are not in the playoffs this year? For the
Magic are not. They were the playoffs, and the Heat were not.
Magic and Miami. So 2 teams replaced them, and that'd be Charlotte and Atlanta.
Yes, correct. Yep, those are the 2 teams.
Very interesting Eastern Conference.
It's really early still, so it's hard to like.
It is early, but I feel like it's.
I mean, they're over 20-something games in.
We can make some assumptions about how bad the Heat are.
I mean, they're over. Let's see. The Lakers, for example, have played 26 games, so they're about third of the way into the season.
Yeah,
I mean, it is still early, but I mean, this is a point now where I said about a month and a half ago, I said we can't make any assumptions until we get about fourth of the way into the season. So now we can probably make some assumptions on some teams at this point and say, all right, well, we can start eliminating teams. This team doesn't have it. This team needs to make a move. Like now we can start making assumptions about certain teams in the NBA. It's still early. I get that. And I still think the Heat are going to somehow rebound, but I mean,
I don't think they're. I don't get any. They're a first
every night. Every night they got two of Dragic, Adebayo, Hero, and Butler out. They have two of those guys out almost every night. It's ridiculous. I don't get it. I mean, the only person that's sitting out for the Lakers is AD. He's the only person, and Caruso's missed a couple of games. That's it. And then the Celtics. I mean, it seems like all the Eastern Conference is getting the end. Does Philly had a lot of guys sitting out this year? I guess
no. They had
some COVID problems at the beginning of the year. But
this makes sense. This shows the impact COVID is having on the NBA. If you take the best teams from the NBA last year, the top 5 seeds from each conference from last year, like the Lakers, the Clippers, the Jazz, Nuggets. I mean, and then the same thing from the Eastern Conference. The teams that are on top are the teams that didn't have significant COVID implications to their best players. Like Giannis hasn't sat out because of COVID. Embiid and Simmons, they haven't really got COVID yet. Brooklyn's stacked, but they weren't even top 5 last year. Boston's 4. They're 12 and Boston's 4. They're 12 and 11. That's partially in part because Tatum was exposed or something like that. And
he had
for between the Lakers and the Jazz, neither team Caruso had COVID in the first game of the year, and that was it. That's the only COVID that's having the Lakers. I haven't heard anything about the Jazz getting COVID. Clippers Kawhi and Paul George haven't really missed a game, the two of them, because of COVID. Like, you know what I mean? They're just doing their usual load management. So it's the teams that are withstanding COVID that are equipped enough to win games. Those teams are the ones that are on top right now.
Yeah, I can tell you, I watch a lot of
the Spurs.
I watch the Celtics the most out of every NBA team. That shouldn't come as a surprise. Sure, it was about COVID, but they also had one of the worst Western road trips I think I've ever seen in my life. The Clippers one was good, but then losing to Sacramento and then getting blown out. I wouldn't say blown out, but they really had no shot against Utah. Who else did they? Oh, the Suns game was terrible. They shot better from 3 than they did from the field overall.
Who was the last team they played? They
played the Warriors too, and they beat them. They beat
the
Warriors.
Their
and
last
Clippers.
game was Phoenix.
Beat the Warriors and Clippers and lost to Sacramento,
Utah,
the Suns, and Utah. And I mean, 2 and 3 isn't terrible, but the fact that they're now 1 win away from being 500, which I feel like they're not going to lose tonight, but being that close to 500
if they lose, they're still in the 4th seed in the East.
Isn't settling.
They're up 11 with 9 minutes left. At least that's where I am. I'm probably a little bit farther back.
Yeah, I'm not.
The Raptors, the Celtics can handle the Raptors. The Raptors have no interior defense or interior presence.
And then the West is weird too. Like the Suns are 4th, that was expected, but the Trailblazers are in the 5 spot.
There are 10 teams 500 and above.
And the Trailblazers, 10. I feel like, are always that 7, 8, 9 seed type thing. So I don't know what's going on over there. I do know CJ's playing really, really well this
What's
year.
happening in the Western Conference, Luke, is the 3 teams that made the playoffs last year are not in playoffs. OKC, Houston, and Dallas.
Yeah.
And Dallas have been switched by San Antonio, Phoenix, and Golden State.
People had Dallas at the beginning of the year. People I lot of people thought that Dallas could be as high as like the 3 or 4.
I didn't think Dallas would be that. I thought Dallas would be top 5. I thought they maybe would be 5.
I thought they would be around 6. They're definitely not playing to their potential, but
Porzingis has been hurt for a lot of the year. Now he's coming back, and they also who was I talking with this about? Doncic is getting way too high on his stats.
I don't know though, because
I think he is because if you look at Luka Doncic, I heard this somewhere, and you look at NBA reference, his usage rate is through the roof. Which that means, if you guys, for those of you who know what usage rate is, or the people who are listening to this, it's basically the amount of times your usage rate goes up if a possession ends with you taking a shot, getting an assist, turning the ball over, going to the free throw line. That's what the usage rate is. So the possessions, the ball ends in your hand. And Luka's usage rate is through the roof in Dallas. And that is, he's taken it upon himself to carry this team, when before it was, he was somewhat I don't know what the word is, but he wasn't as confident, I guess, as he is now. He's really confident now. He wouldn't have that confidence level, and he was very unselfish. And that's why he was so effective, because he could score at will, and he was also very unselfish, and it just worked. It just worked out. He made it work. Obviously, I think losing Seth Curry was big for Dallas, by the way. I think losing Seth was big.
That was big.
Because Seth Curry's playing very well this year.
Even still, I think when they got Harrison Barnes, Luka, Porzingis, I mean, they have the weapons to at least win games, and they're not winning games. They're 12-14, which isn't, it's not good, especially on the Western Conference. You got to be over 500, and they're not. And that's the issue. The issue with Luka is, I think, he's taking it upon himself to control the offense, and now people are beating them that way. They're just kind of taking out Luka. Take Luka out of the equation. The offense can't run, because then he starts forcing things.
Yeah. Another team, though, in the West that's been super surprising is the Spurs. I mean, the Spurs they've been good what?
I said watch out for the Spurs, but like not in a serious way.
No, I think watch out for the Spurs. DeRozan is really good. He hasn't really been himself since he went to San Antonio yet. The first 2 years he's kind of struggled, but this year, I mean, 20 points is around his average. But he's averaging a career high. What?
Murray is their guy right now.
DeJounte Murray is really good, and the thing about him is he's a really, really good defensive player. Like, he's going to be a defensive first or second team in the next few years. I don't know about this year.
He's a point guard that averages 7 rebounds in a game.
Yeah, he's really good.
No one knows about that. No one cares about that.
And he plays a lot of defense. And then Aldridge is still good. But DeRozan, he's averaging 20, and then he's also averaging a career high 7 assists too. And Pop always has them. Keldon Johnson's good too. But Pop always has them playing really, really good defense. So they're going to play a good defensive game. But now they're starting to get guys who can score the ball. Like DeRozan and Aldridge have always been able to score the ball. But now DeJounte Murray is scoring a lot more. He used to be as soon as he came in the league, he was, in my opinion, he was like a shorter guard version of Kawhi, if that makes any sense. He was very defensive oriented and didn't really score the ball a lot. But now he started to find that and is starting to score the ball a lot more and keep that same defensive success. So I think that, I don't think they'll have a huge playoff run, but I can see them, what they're at the 5 right now, the 6th right now. I could see them potentially winning a first round, winning in the first round.
Yeah. They also have 7 players averaging over 10 points a game.
I was about to say that. And then also Derek White, or just Derek White is his name. Derek White averages 9.7.
So you can basically say 8.
He's there 9 out of 10 games. He's scoring 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably getting that kind of production from 8 guys. That's, you talk about going in when you're in the playoffs, and a lot of teams, especially the best teams in the league, they cut down their rotation to 8 men when they play good teams. A lot of teams have been doing it. The Lakers started doing it. I know it was a big thing for the Clippers. Like a lot of teams do that in the playoffs. A lot of good teams do that. They cut down the rotation to 8 men because they go the 8 men that they trust most. And if you're getting 8 and 9, if you're getting, I guess, 9-10 men, because I'm counting Derek White as 9-10 because he scored 10 points 9 out of 10 games. So if you have 7 and 9-10 players scoring 10 or more points, I think you're getting some pretty good production all around.
Mm-hmm.
And they have 5 guys that average over 14 a game.
Yeah.
Which is great too.
They're a team to potentially watch out for. It's still super close and super early, but that's where we are with the NBA. Now we can talk about the Bruins.
When you got Greg Popovich,
Yeah, Greg Popovich, anything's possible.
Exactly.
AG, 2008. May of 2000. No,
anything's possible.
Anything's possible. Bruins, they play hockey, and they won last night in, wait for it, an overtime game. Never seen that before, where the Bruins go to overtime. I don't think I've ever seen that this year. That's crazy. One of the first only. No, I'm being sarcastic. They go to overtime pretty much every single game. I don't know why they wait. I feel like they always outshoot every team, but they don't take quality shots. They just pepper it, and they don't really look where they're shooting. Kind of like Brian when he plays Chell, just slap shots from the point.
Pucks on net.
Yeah, pecks on net. Doesn't matter where. I think Brian's muted, but that's okay because he's talking and I can't hear anything.
No, Brian's not muted.
Oh, he wasn't. You could hear him.
No, the thing's not on this. It would say.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
If it was muted, it would say muted.
No, my mic.
No.
My mic
His mic on this side was
my
muted.
mic. My mic got turned off. Celtics are currently blowing it. That's okay. What was I saying? Bruins. Oh yeah, they're big into making the perfect pass and avoiding the clean shot. So, but they still are. They score in flurries, but they're still nasty.
Do.
They haven't lost in regulation in a month, so that's good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
At least they're getting the points. If they're losing, it's in overtime, so at least they get the points.
They get the point, dude. They're the best in the league at getting the point.
For sure.
As the league. But I don't know what it is with them trying to get in holes that they want to dig out of. Like they do that way too often. Like it was the graphic.
I don't think it's by choice.
Games. Yeah, they showed the graphic down like 3-0, 3-0, 3-1, 1-0, like,
and went to overtime in like all those games, and so they got at least a point in all of those games. So
yeah, they've won 8 of 9.
Yeah,
they have.
They're 9-1-2, so that's like really good.
They have after the first
3 games look bad.
Yeah, first 3 games.
They're 1-1-1.
Yeah, they lost to Philly in overtime, right?
No, they haven't lost to Philly. They're 4-0 against Philly. They lost to the Devils in overtime, and they lost to
the Islanders. They lost to the Islanders 1-0. That's when they couldn't score a goal.
Yeah, that's when they couldn't score a goal. It helped them.
Yeah,
to save
I mean now they have the perfection.
Pasta's back. Martian has like 8 goals in the season, which is kind of crazy early on.
I thought of this, boys. I'm gonna start watching hockey more.
You should.
Okay. You should. It's fun.
It's actually fun to watch.
No, I do. I watch playoff hockey. I'm one of those noobs. I'm like one of those people that only watch. I'm like one of the people that only watch the Patriots. It's like watching the Patriots only in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl.
That? You only have to commit to 16 games.
A lot of people just watch the Patriots in the Super Bowl. A lot of people did that.
Patriots fans.
Yeah, but there's a big difference between skipping 16 games and skipping 82 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
no, I know.
But I'm in the same boat. I really only watch.
Well, like when I was watching the playoff hockey, I would watch all the games I saw when I was bored.
Yeah, because playoff hockey is good and it's interesting.
You have to be bored to watch playoff hockey. Yikes!
I was bored, and then there was playoff hockey on, and then I put it on.
Yeah, if the Bruins stay healthy, they are a Stanley Cup team. I mean, they're pretty much the same team as last year, minus Krug. But I really don't think. I mean, he would help, but
Krug, but Zaboral and
Brandon Carlo's been really good this year.
Carlo's been really good. I mean, what's his face? Grizzlies. He was out for a little bit, but he took a step. And who am I missing?
I don't know.
Who are you missing? Carlo, Grizzlies,
Carlo McAvoy, Zaboral,
Lazon, Miller.
Oh, Miller. Having him back as a force, he's kind of like just a hitter. And I mean Clifton occasionally.
Yeah.
What happened to Studnicka? He hasn't played in like 2 weeks.
Spell it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Studnicka?
It's actually
Studnicka.
Yeah, it's.
Is there a C in there or is just?
There is
Studnicka. Studnicka.
Yes.
Yeah.
Studnicka.
Maybe he went to the dentist to fix his teeth.
Well, they all need to fix their teeth. Speaking of hockey, we can jump into our picks. Now the picks have reset, ladies and gentlemen. That's good for Andrew because he was in last place, so now he can get.
Let's go over the picks real quick.
Again.
Talk about how I picked Gronk scoring the first touchdown.
Yeah, fine.
No big deal.
Brian picked the Gronk scoring in the first touchdown and the Bucks winning and Tom Brady.
Brian, we talked about that on Monday.
We did.
We didn't talk about the picks though.
I did.
We didn't,
I brought it up.
We kind of did. But fine, if we want to go over the picks, I won the total season. I guess we can call it a season with 46. Nick came in second with 44. Brian with 41, and Andrew with the caboose with 37.
Oh yeah,
up the rear.
Somebody's got to be last. So
I get over 40.
It's okay. New season, new Andrew. That's the mentality. Exactly. It's the mentality. Yes. So this first one for the new season, I really it doesn't mean anything, but it's nice to just have competition on this podcast. So I can say I'm one. I have a championship win. So I'll just say that right now, championship win. But it all resets, and the first one we are going to is a player in the NHL that is going to get 3 or more points. Do we want to up it to 4? Because I feel like 3 isn't a lot.
That's like a point per game.
I'll go last. I'll go last. Hold on.
We'll stick with 3 because we're not big hockey people. We'll stick with 3. Nick wants to go last, so I'll go Andrew, Brian, myself, and then Nick. So, Andrew, do you want to start off?
Yeah. It's pretty basic, but I'll take the easy pick. I'll go Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid.
Also a safe, easy pick, but I guess if we want to be different, I'll go with his line mate in Leon Draisaitl.
I'm gonna go with one that has a little bit more analysis. I'm gonna go. So those are the top 2 points leaders in the NHL. I'm gonna go right below him in Mitchell Marner because the Leafs have been playing really, really good hockey, and they have 3 straight games this week against the Senators, who were one of the worst teams.
Oh yeah, they're trash.
So I think Marner can get at least 3 points, and he has 21, 16 assists too. That's pretty impressive. So
yeah, I mean, when you have Austin Matthews to feed, I mean
that is true.
That makes life easy.
My bad. 15 assists and 6 goals for Marner. So I think Marner can do it. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets all 3 in one game against the Senators because they are really bad. Nick.
McDavid.
Okay. Any reason
what team
why?
does he play for?
The Oilers.
Nice.
Yeah, Nick.
Nice job.
All right.
Nick.
I knew he played for the Oilers.
Where do the Oilers play?
Edmonton.
Okay.
All right.
Nick is diversifying himself. We love to see it.
What province is that in?
Okay, I don't know that.
Alberta.
Toronto?
Yeah, Alberta.
Toronto. You just said
Toronto.
Toronto's a city, my guy.
That's not a province.
I don't care.
I know.
Canada.
I know. Canada's
a country.
Anyways,
I don't care. It's Canada. That's why I said I don't care.
We're getting dumber by listening to this. We'll move on to the next one, which is in the NBA, an NBA matchup. Jazz Bucks, which is Nick. Is it tomorrow night?
Mañana.
Jazz Bucks. Andrew, who do we have in this game?
Who is quick question. Who's at home?
Yes, it's in Miami City. Wait, that's not Miami City. It's in the Salt Lake City.
It starts at 9, so I would assume the Jazz, yeah.
It is okay.
It's the Jazz.
I'm
looking at it right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jazz.
Yeah, the Jazz.
I'm gonna go with the Jazz.
Okay. Brian.
Yeah, Utah, they're kind of nasty. They play such good team basketball. Their defense is insane, and they have a good amount of fans. So I'll go with them. And Giannis sucks, and the Bucks suck.
Weak freak.
Okay.
Yeah, they're coming off a game in Phoenix, so they're on a West Coast trip.
You know what? I'll make a Brian pick right now. I'm gonna take the Bucks because I want the Jazz to lose because the Lakers are below the Jazz.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go with the Jazz too.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with the Jazz too, just because I feel like the Jazz are one of the more equipped teams to defend Giannis because they have Gobert down low to protect the rim. So I don't know how much success he's gonna have. So I feel like if the Bucks need to win, they're gonna have to shoot an absurd amount of 3-pointers and make an absurd amount of 3-pointers. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. So I'm going to go.
Of course, after I say Bucks, Giannis probably going to get COVID in 2 seconds and then be rolled out.
That'd be so
tomorrow.
funny.
That's what just happens with my picks all the time, half the time.
Last one. Big college basketball game on Saturday between number 12. Hold on. No. Yes.
Number 12
Oklahoma and number 14, West Virginia. Andrew.
To the play.
I'm gonna go with. This is tough. I'm gonna go with Oklahoma.
Okay.
Go Sooners.
West
Brian.
Virginia.
You're going West Virginia.
Mama, take me home.
Wait, are you going West Virginia?
Country roads. Yeah, they beat Texas Tech twice. They're actually pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Nick.
I'm going to ride the West Virginia train along with Brian. Go with them.
Okay.
Go with the Mountaineers.
And I am also going West Virginia. They just beat Kansas and Texas Tech the last 2 games by double digits. Miles McBride is absolutely feasting right now. And Oklahoma they just won, but they only beat Iowa State by 7, and Iowa State could honestly be a Division IV team if Division IV is a thing. So they are coming off a sketchy win, and West Virginia is coming off 2 really good wins. So I'm going to go West Virginia as well. Are you trying to play West Virginia or country roads into your microphone, Brian?
I was. Was it not working?
I mean,
it was very low.
I could hear it. I could
volume.
faintly hear it. I could.
Oh, really? I was holding it like up to the mic.
Oh, well, that's how loud my voice is.
Well, we know what our closing song is going to be now.
Yeah, that's easy.
Perfect.
That's easy. But that's
Going
it.
bad, Drake and Meek Mill.
Anything? Last thoughts? Anyone?
Go Pats!
Go Pats!
Go Pats!
Go Pats! So 2 go Pats.
Take me home, Frangie.
Andrew, do you have last thoughts?
Do
you have thoughts? Do you have any thoughts?
Any thoughts?
Nick is in full.
The only
Celtics look like they're gonna win, so I mean that's a good thought.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I'll be back. I mean 9-5, coming back for revenge tour. So
revenge tour for the picks.
Hey, Luke. What way to make a living?
I'll be back. Revenge tour.
Revenge tour for Andrew.
Right.
Okay.
Also go.
Okay,
Bruins
we'll see.
And
First week of the picks.
Go Pats.
We'll see next week on Thursday. You got them.
Nick
Got
is
them
in
right.
full.
And thank you guys for listening. Go follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Big 4 _ podcast once again. And we will see you on Monday.